If the Starship launch earlier this month ignited your passion for spectacular and advanced rocket launches, you're in luck because later this month, we'll witness an amazing performance from the world's second most powerful rocket, only behind Starship, the Falcon Heavy. So, how important is this rocket launch? Let's find out in today's episode of Alpha Tech. The Falcon Heavy launch marks its 10th launch overall and the first one of 2024, with a total of 3 Falcon Heavy launches planned for this year. Although the rocket isn't launched frequently, each Falcon Heavy mission takes on crucial tasks, not only for NASA, but for the entire world. The launch is scheduled to take off on June 25th at 5:16 p.m. Eastern Time. This mission will deploy the 4th satellite in NOAA's Advanced GOES-R series, designed to provide enhanced weather data and solar observations. NASA awarded SpaceX a contract worth $152.5 million to launch the mission in 2021. The preparations for this mission follow a meticulous timeline to ensure the rocket satellite's successful deployment. The satellite will be placed atop the Falcon Heavy rocket on June 13th, a critical step that involves securing the satellite for the upcoming launch. Following this, the rocket will be moved to Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center on June 14th, where it'll undergo further preparations. The final encapsulation of this satellite with Falcon Heavy will take place on June 22nd. During this phase, engineers will conduct thorough checks to confirm that all systems are operational and ready for launch. On June 23rd, the encapsulated assembly will roll out to the launch pad, positioning it for the final countdown to launch. Honestly, this is an extremely important mission that NASA has entrusted to SpaceX's heavy-lift Falcon Heavy rocket. The payload, NOAA GOES-U satellite, promises to be the most advanced product in the GOES-R series. This first launch of the series was in 2016, followed by GOES-S and GOES-T in 2018 and 2022, respectively. However, compared to its 3 predecessors in the series, GOES-U will be the shining star in the constellation. Not only will it have all the bells and whistles like its siblings, featuring instruments that provide state-of-the-art advanced imagery, taking atmospheric measurements of Earth's ocean, weather, and environment, as well as real-time mapping of total lightning activity. But GOES-U will also have improvements to each component based on what adjustments NOAA found were needed from the earlier trio. NOAA wants the best possible spacecraft incorporating all the upgrades and lessons learned from the development and operation of the first 3 spacecraft. Our team incorporated all the design process improvements derived from the first 3 builds to make this the best GOES satellite, John Daly, GOES-R Flight Project Manager at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, said. GOES-U will include a brand new compact chronograph (CCOR) tool to help with the space weather forecasts. The CCOR instrument has been a full participant in the rigorous testing of GOES-U satellite. CCOR is ready to become the first operational coronagraph in a geosynchronous orbit and produce spectacular images of our sun's corona on a continual basis, Daly added. The CCOR instrument will help scientists understand and improve forecasting even more for space and weather events, as we experienced with the historic geomagnetic scale 5 level storm G5 that caused quite the Aurora show Mother's Day weekend. It will also be a huge update from the aging LASCO coronagraph on the NASA European Space Agency SOHO Solar and Heliospheric Observatory spacecraft, which launched in 1995 and provided an even clearer picture, taking measurements of the sun's outer atmosphere, the corona. It does this by blocking the disk of the sun, creating a total solar eclipse every 30 minutes. That allows us to observe large explosions on the sun, coronal mass ejections, that can hurl billions of tons of matter at millions of miles per hour towards Earth, Eliased Talat, director of Office of Space Weather Observations at NESTIS, said. These types of observations are key to our long-range forecasts in space weather, so they give us 1 to 4 days worth of warning before they reach Earth here and cause geomagnetic storms and potential impacts on human life and critical technologies, Talat added. It's going to replace our aging research infrastructure that can take up to 8 hours for us to get those measurements. Now we'll have them all the time. After GOES-U launches and begins its orbit, it'll change destinations to GOES-19 and undergo a cross-check of all its systems, instruments, and data. After it's deemed ready to operate, which if all goes well could be as early as April of next year, it'll take place of GOES-R, now known as GOES-East, and begin watching over a big portion of the Western Hemisphere with its new and improved changes. Due to the immense benefits this satellite brings to Earth science, all of us are eager to expedite this launch. However, no path is without obstacles. The mission faced a delay of about 2 months until the official launch date was set for June. In fact, the Falcon Heavy launch carrying GOES-U satellite was planned for April. However, due to some issues that occurred after periodic testing of the rocket's center core booster at SpaceX's Rocket Testing and Development Facility in McGregor, the launch had to be postponed. All three cores for the GOES-U mission are brand new. Each new Falcon 9 or Falcon Heavy core side booster are brought to McGregor to undergo a full testing cycle, culminating in a complete static fire test. After completing these tests, the rocket's transported to Florida or California for the launch campaign. While SpaceX used to conduct static fire tests before every launch previously, in recent years with their proven flight-proven rockets, only high-profile launches like crewed missions or critical government satellite missions go through the static fire test. The GOES-U mission qualifies as it's both an important NASA satellite and utilizes three brand new Falcon cores. This necessitates SpaceX performing a brief static fire test on Pad 39A prior to launch. Ultimately, the three current Falcon cores assigned to GOES-U are Core 1087 in the center expendable position, the side boosters 1072 and 1086. Booster 1072 has also gone through 2 rounds of testing at McGregor after facing its own issues. While the center core will be expended, the 2 side boosters will enter for landing at LZ-1 and LZ-2 to be reused on future missions. This is going to be a spectacular show of Falcon Heavy for us. Are you excited for the first Falcon Heavy launch of the year? Please reply in the comments to let us know your answer. By the way, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel to motivate us to keep working. Back to the story of Falcon Heavy. We might wonder why it's been quite a while since we last saw the rocket land all 3 booster cores, which only happened once in 2019. Honestly, SpaceX probably won't do this again due to its complexity and risk. The key to achieving orbit lies not in attaining a particular altitude, but in reaching a specific velocity. Low Earth orbit requires traveling at an astonishing speed of approximately 7 to 8 kilometers a second, which translates to over 15,000 miles an hour. The reason for reaching altitudes above 1,000 kilometers is to escape the atmospheric drag, as sustaining such extreme velocities within the atmosphere would have catastrophic consequences. While rockets initially launch vertically, they quickly transition to an almost horizontal trajectory as they continue accelerating to higher and higher speeds. In the case of the Falcon Heavy, the 3 boosters do not operate at the same thrust level. The outer boosters generate maximum power, burning through their fuel as rapidly as possible, allowing them to detach early. In contrast, the center booster operates at approximately 75% of its maximum thrust, enabling it to sustain its burn for a more extended period. This strategic approach results in the side boosters detaching while traveling at lower speeds and having covered a shorter distance from the launch site. Consequently, they can execute a maneuver known as a boost-back burn, allowing them to loop back and land near their launch site, achieving an impressive double landing. However, the center core detaches approximately 1 minute later, by which time it has attained significantly higher velocities and traveled a much greater distance from the launch site. For the center core to return to its launch site would require an excessive amount of fuel, making it impractical. Instead, the center core's only feasible option is to land on a remote ocean platform. In fact, out of all the Falcon Heavy launches, it has only successfully landed the center core once. This proves that landing the center core is always a greater challenge compared to the side boosters. Even if they attempt to land the center core in the future, it may not be the best option. And that's it for today's episode. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.